Yes, it is.
We're here.
Yes, it is. The unofficial start to summer. So here we are. How was your week?
It was up and down. You
Okay.
know, to start it off. Let me get the sad stuff out the way first. I lost my grandfather. I lost my grandfather on Thursday evening.
Sorry to hear that, brother.
Thank you. It happens. It
Yeah.
happens. And what an interesting time to lose him. Right before, Memorial Day weekend. It's very interesting. And there's obviously, when you go through these things, you go through the stages of grief, and but I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday. Life goes on. I remember him. I remember him always.
Yeah,
It's these things happen, and he lived a long and beautiful life. A,
absolutely.
a
Did
long,
just out of curiosity, was he also a veteran?
no, no,
Okay. Okay. I was just curious.
no, yeah,
Not that matters. Not that that matters at all. Like,
no. Of course, it's so interesting because I have so many like grand. I guess is that the right term? Grand
great.
uncles,
Yeah, great.
right?
Yeah, grand uncle, great uncle. Yeah, those
you
are
know,
interchangeable.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of family members who were in, but
Mhm.
no, not my grandfather. But he was always so excited. He was just like, yeah, my. Now he had two grandsons in the military, as my brother is
Awesome.
is a
Yeah.
Marine as well.
Right.
And also this week, my little brother bought a trailer.
Oh, okay.
So, come on, man. I'm the one that's supposed to be showing off. Come on.
um,
What
yeah,
about you, man?
it was a pretty good week overall. I may or may not have traveled out of town last weekend, and I spent some time with my beautiful girlfriend. I got to visit both of my grandfathers, where they're currently eternally resting. So I was able to take them a couple of beers, and have a beer with them, last week, and then got a lot of stuff done this week. As far as the army, I got a lot of stuff done this week as far as getting out. So I started making a lot of forward progress to begin my transition, returning to civilian life here in a few months.
There we
So
go.
so yeah, it's the gravy train is rolling, so to speak. So
Yeah,
yeah,
this has
we're,
got to
we're
be an
getting,
interesting time for you. Are you doing ACAP and all that stuff?
yeah, basically, yeah. It's so they just call it TAP now. It's
Oh, okay.
it used, formerly SFL TAP, formerly ACAP, formerly God knows whatever
Yeah.
stupid fucking acronym they come up with, right? Um, the process isn't really that painful. The As with a lot of things in the army, the hard part is knowing where the fuck to go next.
Yeah.
So and yeah, like Jesus Christ, I'm a staff sergeant. I'm like, thank fucking God I'm not like a private or a specialist, dude. Because like I'm a staff sergeant. I'm like not getting any assistance. I'm like having to make phone calls and go to places in person just to figure out what the fuck to do. The next step is. But I did get a lot of forward progress made. I'm gonna be next week. I'm gonna be getting preparing my gear for turn in. So I'll
Oh,
be taking
baby.
some stuff. Yeah,
CIF.
I'll be taking some stuff to the quartermaster and getting it cleaned, and then I'll be taking other stuff to CIF and making sure that I have everything that I need. I want to say off the top of my head, I think there's only one thing that I might be missing, like literally, because I've kept all my gear kind of together and in one place for eternity. So, yeah, I think there's only one little thing I might be missing, which I can probably also pick up at a pawn shop or fucking buy online. So
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, because some dumbass probably sold it somewhere too, because it
It's
always happens.
it's stupid. It's coveralls. It's fucking coveralls. Which why I got coveralls as an infantryman coming to Fort Carson, I will never fucking know. Like it makes zero sense. Like, what the fuck do I need coveralls for as an infantryman? You know what I mean? Like, I
Oh,
get
that's
it.
hilarious.
I get it. We have like motor pool Mondays and shit, but I was in a light infantry brigade. So like we weren't fucking around with Bradleys, we weren't fucking around with Strikers. So it's like all we ever did was like hump everything on our back. So it's like we didn't don't fuck with vehicles really very much at all. So why I got coveralls in the first place? Whatever. Army's gonna army. So I'm
Yeah,
kind of looking forward to it.
I remember my ACAP experience, and I had a conversation with someone recently about this. That if for for an older, and this may, I guess to some may be like a controversial comment, but this is just a matter of opinion. I feel like there should be different tiers of ACAP, because you have a lot of people who, like for us who are in the older crowd, who have
Mm-hmm.
a more established and molded, experienced mind for the outside world. We know how to make a resume. We know how to
Mm-hmm.
talk in interviews, due to having to speak in the military and stuff like that. Whereas there's another group of people, like a lot of the younger crowds, the 18 to 24 crowd that
Sure.
gets out after their first session, and they're taught these things because they don't know, and that's important for them to know because they don't know. But I instead of like jamming all of it together, I kind of feel like they need to be different tiers for experience and age groups, because everybody is different. And the ACAP experience I had, don't get me wrong, I learned a lot. I learned
Mm-hmm.
a lot, but I
Yeah.
but I felt like most of, like, 70% of it I already knew.
Right. Well, and that's like I was in a briefing on, I want to say Thursday, either Thursday or Friday. I was in a briefing, and it was like I was the highest ranking dude there. It was like
Oh shit,
specialists, a couple of privates, and a few buck sergeants, and
that's
everybody was doing
that's heartbreaking.
everybody. Oh, dude, everybody did the typical thing, and they shut up, no questions. Nobody was asking. Nobody was saying anything. It was just like it was basically that they were just there to check the block. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
And I get it, but exactly like you're saying, like there's people that probably need some more of that information, and they need to be paying attention because they're going to get out, and it might not be right away, but a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, they're going to be like, "Fuck, I wish I was still in," or "I wish I had, paid a little bit more attention when I was getting out."
Yeah,
Everybody's got that, that golden ticket idea that they're going to freaking just get out and everything's going to be easy again. It's like,
absolutely. And
nah,
and
bro,
and then the
you
team, I feel
got to pay
bad,
bills.
and I feel bad for a lot of the guys who get med boarded out, who are in like, or even getting chaptered out, and they're like the younger crowd who
Yes, they are.
haven't experienced life yet,
Mm-hmm.
and like, I'll never forget. I remember there was this young private. He was getting chaptered out for failed PT test, and the kid didn't even know how to do a resume,
Right.
and
Right.
for people like him, ACAP is needed,
Right.
and everybody needs ACAP, because there's always going to be something that nobody knows. You're always going to learn something new. You're always going to figure out a new uh, a new way to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think there's room for improvement. I do remember that the ACAP instructor I had was actually on SVU. And he kept on saying it. He was like, "Yeah, I was on SVU," and when I looked it up, he was on one episode. He was on one episode, but to
That's
say the
hilarious.
least, he was on SVU. But yeah, ACAP is interesting, especially the whole outgoing process, because you have to do the good old stamp scavenger hunt,
Mm-hmm.
and which is actually one of my favorite things. And I think I spoke about that not too long ago. But it's an interesting experience, and I'm excited for you, man.
I'm very excited actually. I'm looking forward to being a dad again, full time, and just
Absolutely,
being more physically and emotionally and mentally present, not only for my children but for everybody that I know and love, my friends and my family members, and just not having that side thing where I have to push one thing out of the way to be present here, or I have to push this out of the way to be present, for the army. And I, being able to turn off that switch and just be like,
absolutely.
and just be Jay for 24 hours a day, and I not have to worry about being Staff Sergeant Campbell, because I've done a pretty good job over 11 years of keeping those two entities separate, but it does get very stressful and trying at times. I try really hard not to bring Staff Sergeant Campbell home, and there are days where I try really hard not to bring Jay to work, You know what I mean? And but that gets very, very taxing emotionally and mentally. Trying to keep those aspects of my personality separate. I'm just very much looking forward to being fucking laid back and chill, and not
Yeah,
not having to crush souls,
yeah.
anymore.
I love that you say that too, because I always said, when you're in uniform, you're one person, and when you're out of it, you're completely different. And it goes to show that there are so many people, especially in the military, you learn how to have that switch.
Yep.
Like you just said, you try not to bring Jay to work, and you try
Mm-hmm.
not to bring Sergeant Campbell home,
That's right.
because they are two different people. And that's interesting, man. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
yeah. We
you
had
got plans this weekend? Are you doing anything aside? I know you lost your grandfather,
yeah.
but are
Well,
you guys doing anything?
we were going. Well, I bought a pool.
Did you really?
We bought a little watermelon pool, and it's fucking pouring outside right now.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like 90 degrees all week. 80, 90 degrees all fucking week. Steaming hot. So hot that I'm going into work and the air conditioner is on full blast and I'm wearing a sweater inside work. It's fucking pouring outside.
And now it's pouring, so you can't even
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mother Nature. Now my kids are mad at me. You
It's
know?
freaking.
N-
That's like Murphy's law, like in effect, right there, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, you can't
When
stop
you,
a barbecue in the rain, though. I'm just saying, you could still barbecue. People barbecue in the snow, in the blizzard. You could still barbecue in the rain. So it's still, but other than that, my dad is here in town. So
uh-huh.
I'm supposed to see him today. There's a lot going on. So we're probably gonna go figure something out. The rain ruined everything, man. It just ruined everything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, man. But what about you? You're going to, I'm going to assume you're going to the VFW.
Yeah, kind of like half and half.
Yeah.
So there is a ceremony they do every year out here where I live. I live in basically like what you might call a suburb. I live in Pueblo West. They do a ceremony out here in Pueblo West every year. We didn't get some of the information until kind of late, like basically earlier this month. Prior to that, the Pueblo Veterans Council sent a thing out requesting or asking if anybody was willing to give a speech, because this year they're going to focus on the Iraq and Afghanistan generation, and so they were looking for Afghanistan or Iraq veterans to give a short speech. And so I kind of threw my hat in, and so I will be going to Pueblo proper, basically Pueblo, the actual Pueblo. There's a little thing downtown called the Riverwalk, and so I'll be giving a short speech on Memorial Day on Monday. So it'll be tomorrow for anybody viewing this live. It'll be tomorrow morning. I'll be giving a short speech and talking about some of my experiences, I guess, and honoring our fallen, basically. So I'm looking forward to that. I've never really had a problem speaking in public. A lot of people, public speaking is a big fear for a lot of people,
Yeah.
but I've never had an issue with it. So once I finish the speech, though, to finish answering your question, I guess once I've finished with my speech and the ceremony is over, I will be traveling back out here to Pueblo West. I will be going, what do you want to call, going to my VFW basically and hanging out and having some beers and
With the
remembering,
boys.
hanging with the boys and remembering the ones we lost. So yeah, this weekend has gotten really weird the last few years. I've been in for 11 years, so when I was first in and even first home for my first deployment, um, even then I can't say I really thought too much about it, other than it was still kind of just Memorial Day weekend for me. And I want to say since I've got back from my third deployment, my last deployment, these last couple of years it's been different. I don't really know how to describe that other than it's just been different. It's starting to hit me a little bit differently now. And maybe it's because I'm getting closer to getting out. I don't know, but or maybe I'm just getting older. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be my weekend.
That's good, man. I mean, it's still going to be eventful. I mean, you're gonna see the Well, actually, it just kind of hit me. Marie talked to us in the chat. For those who don't know, it's not just us two. It's not
Right.
just us two.
A lot of people behind the scenes
There's a
that
lot of people behind the scenes, and we have the other members of the admin team, Marie and Chance, and Marie. We had a conversation yesterday where she saw a gentleman with 6 shots in front of him, remembering all his lost airmen, and you see someone out there, you know, hang out with them. He may not want to hear his story, but he may not want to be alone. He or she may not want to be alone either.
That's right. Yeah,
You know.
it's okay to reach out. They might take you up on your offer, they might not, but it's okay to reach out. It's okay to, appreciate. There's a lot of people this weekend that are going to be struggling a little bit, and I definitely understand that. You might see if you go to a local watering hole tonight, tomorrow night, possibly on Monday, you might see a bar, you might see a drink, an empty or a full drink in front of an empty chair. Um, that was probably bought for somebody that is no longer here to share it with us. So yeah, like just don't don't be scared. We're veterans, but we don't bite. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with expressing appreciation and a little bit of gratitude, because there are people out there that have lost many people. And not necessarily just on the battlefield either. A lot of us, we lose a lot of friends after we come back home. So remember all of our fallen. Memorial Day is definitely, for mainly for the people that we've lost in war, but the reality is a lot of us lose the battle after we come home. The war comes home with us, and so just be I guess mentally cognizant of that, and always respectful, because you don't know what people are going through. They might be the coolest, awesomest person in the world, and you might see them on Memorial Day, just just down in the dumps and crying into their beer. That's okay. That might be a good day for them to do that.
Yeah.
So I remember a couple years ago, it wasn't on Memorial Day. I think it was on Veterans Day. For some reason, whatever, I got in my feels, but I was at my VFW and I sat there and cried for a while, and but I was in a safe place to do that. That I felt safe in the VFW, safe enough to be emotional, I guess, about stuff, and that's okay. So yeah. So yeah, we'll move on. We'll move
Yeah.
on, I guess, to some gaming
Yeah. Well,
before we go back into Memorial Day.
yeah, before we get into gaming, I need to talk about what's going on in baseball right now. It
What's
is
going on in
it is a
baseball? Is,
very
you have tickets to Kansas City, to a Kansas
yes.
City Royals and New York Yankees game, like in
Yeah,
August.
yeah,
So
and that I'm so excited for that. And even let me tell you, the Yankees are fighting. They're fucking fighting. They're fighting, and I've been watching a couple of their games the last couple of days, and they've been really fighting. Um,
mhm.
Before I get into the thing I want to talk about, first I want to say, the Yankees just pulled a no hitter.
Yeah.
Which
Hmm.
which was absolutely fantastic. It's been about a little. I think it's about 20 years since we had one, and
Hmm.
it was probably one of the most exciting things I got to watch. I saw them on my ESPN app, and I don't have cable, so there's only a few certain ways that I could watch baseball, and one legal way is through the ESPN Gamecast. And I did a couple clicks, a couple links I clicked, and I got to see the final moments of the perfect game, the no hitter, which was really. I mean, it's such an exciting thing when you see something like this happen, because you see just pure skill. To be
Yeah.
because for those who aren't fans of baseball, pitchers usually go anywhere between 5 to 7 innings
Yeah.
sometimes.
Innings. Yeah. Yeah. The era of the complete game in baseball is functionally over. They do not allow pitchers to record complete games hardly ever anymore.
Yeah,
So
and I don't want to take away the fact that there were 3 more no hitters before this
right.
season.
Right.
So there is some crazy shit happening in baseball,
There
and
is.
like we haven't even hit the tipping point yet. But there is one player, and it's funny too, because again, I play MLB 21, and
Hmm.
I had this player on my team named Shohei Ohtani. And what's interesting about Shohei Ohtani is that in the game, you could switch him from being a pitcher to being an outfielder. And I'm thinking, I really need to I need to deep dive on this real quick because there is no possible way that this man is actually a pitcher and an outfielder at the same time. It turns out that Shohei Ohtani is a
Mhm.
pitcher and an outfielder and is leading in home runs right now. A pitcher.
Which yeah, and for our non-baseball fans, this is something that's common in like fucking little league, right? You'll play multiple positions. Like I'm left-handed, so I was functionally a pitcher and first base. But to make it all the way to the major leagues and hold and be talented enough to hold two different positions, especially one of them being a pitcher, is functionally unheard of at the major league level. So
It is
sorry to
no,
interrupt. Go
no,
ahead.
but that's a very important like thing to put in there because you don't
Absolutely.
hear about this very much,
No,
and and
no.
and we're not just talking about a guy who's doing good in hitting. He's the leading home run player in Major League Baseball right now.
Right.
He's and
This would be like somebody on a football team being quarterback and like a defensive end at the same time.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that, it just it doesn't exist at that level ever anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
But a quarter way into the season, the guy already had 15 home runs, and it's just incredible to see something like that. In baseball, we have five-tool players. This guy could do it all. It's
Hmm.
amazing, and it's such an exciting time in baseball. It's like 1999 all over again. And to update on my Diamond Dynasty team, the New Jersey Veterans,
Here we go.
I now have Ken Griffey Jr.
There he
I
is.
have
Yeah.
Alfonso Soriano. I got good
I
old.
saw.
Yep, I got Frank
Okay.
Thomas. Yep, I got Frank Thomas and Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, so come see me, guys. Come see me in the Diamond Dynasty League. I'm telling you, the New Jersey veterans are here to take the cake.
Right.
Man, what a good time. But yeah, gaming news. It's been very interesting for Dice and
For
Battlefield.
Dice.
There have been so many leaks of Battlefield 6. It's I mean, hey, thank you. Thank you.
Right. Right.
I'm grateful for all the footage
But
and
it,
all the leaks.
but it can't be. This cannot be coincidence. So like somebody is actively leaking this shit.
Yeah.
Like
So
this
so
wasn't like an accident.
yeah,
Like.
someone in the company is thrown because first it started off with a couple photos, which is just the normal process. A couple photos, some cool reveals, great.
Right.
And then it started with sound bites. Oh, okay. And then it was a whole audio trailer leak.
Hmm.
And now it was a full trailer,
Right.
which we found out that it's possibly an investor's trailer to suck in some more buyouts and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
we saw the trailer before we started recording, and it looks good. Typical Battlefield fashion. The graphics look great, very cinematic. Everything just looked big, loud,
Hmm.
and detailed. There wasn't, but there wasn't much that was given away. We had a big old
Yeah.
potato, big.
Since yeah, censored block basically like across the middle of it, but you can still functionally see kind of like what the cinematic trailer is kind of getting at. So but yeah, like I said, it is funny though. Like the first couple leaks were like, okay, that could be somebody purposely just trying to build up a little bit of like talk about the game, whatever. It happens a lot with gaming. But when the cinematic trailer that they played for investors got leaked, it's like, okay, somebody's actively trying to do this. Like somebody's actively. I'm not going to say sabotage anything because I mean the game's going to come out and people are going to play it regardless. But somebody is actively leaking this shit.
There's
Like
there, there's got to be some tea about this. There's got to
that's
be
what I'm saying.
something.
Yeah, this is not common, even for gaming and even for leaks. This is not
Yeah,
common how these leaks are occurring basically. So yeah.
I think we have a underpaid, overworked employee who
Yeah,
stopped
right.
giving a fuck and was just like, "Fuck this shit. I'm leaking it all."
I was like, the CEO makes 300 fucking times fucking what I make. Like, fuck you, you know.
Like, what's a
Uh,
leak? What's a leak gonna do? What's a leak gonna do?
I mean, it's if anything, it's only gonna freaking help sell more games. I mean, I really can't. I can't see the leak really being a bad thing per se.
It didn't look
But
bad. It didn't
but
look
but
bad at
yeah,
all.
but somebody is definitely there's something weird about it. Like it's not this is not common for leaks like this at all. Especially and that's how you know it's uncommon because it had that fucking goddamn sensor block that like you called it a potato. It had that fucking sensor block right across the middle, which is not for a leak. You know what I mean? If you're gonna like leak something, you probably want to get
Make it bigger.
all of it out there. Yeah. So that tells me that somebody on the inside is definitely fucking around. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And I mean, it's not going to be too long until they're caught. I mean,
Oh,
you know,
guaranteed. Guaranteed.
they're gonna follow IPs. There's gonna be a signature. You know,
Yep.
someone always leaves a signature, whether it's like a lens flare or whatever this potato symbol is.
Yep.
It's definitely, it's someone in the company has something to
Hmm.
do with that potato symbol, and someone knows, and they're gonna find out. And I feel bad for that guy because he's gonna lose everything. He may not be able to work for another developer ever again.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Maybe we'll have to send that dude over to Running with Scissors with Mike J.
Yeah,
They're already blacklisted, so
yeah. As far as the game goes, it looks really good.
it does. It does.
I'm convinced. The last Battlefield game took place in World War One. Not bad, great concept, but I think we've hit this track before, and
Right.
it didn't do too good. The same. We don't want to go back in time. We don't want to go into the future either, but we want to stay right where we are, and we want to enjoy it.
I think that, and you and me have talked about it before. It's been a while though, but that was one of the things that got me into Modern Warfare last year. Was I had not played a first-person shooter in like 15 years, but the storyline, the campaign of that game, even being a little short, sucked me right the fuck in. Like it was modern basically. It was not we're not fighting in World War II. And we're not going into the future with some futuristic bullshit.
Yep.
It was like this could be today's modern Battlefield, and that's what made it really fucking cool.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And
Like that's
and that's why I enjoyed the Cold War campaign too, because even though it was still a little bit in the past,
right.
it was right at that timeline where it was just perfect, where you have cool weapons,
Hmm.
cool sceneries. You can't go wrong. So this whole sticking into the modern era, because I was a huge fan of Battlefield 3 and 4. I think both of those games, if you played the campaign, they were powerful.
Yes.
They were
Yes.
very powerful. So, and there's always been like, oh, Battlefield's better than Call of Duty, but they're two different games.
They are.
One is
They are.
Call of Duty is cinematically, it's a cinematic experience, whereas Battlefield is more of like a documentary type experience.
Right. Right.
And I'm excited for this. Because who knows what this next Battlefield story is going to be? Because we have like so many touches of like
Hmm.
kissing the cheek of World War III, and
Right.
possible wars with Russia and the Middle East, and
Mhm.
even South America. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. So I'm excited for it. Bring it.
Absolutely. I hope they stick with the destructible environments. I remember that was a big deal back, almost 20 years ago. That was a huge deal. That if you shoot the side of the building with a tank, the side of the building is going away.
Oh
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, whereas in a lot of other games, to include Call of Duty, they don't mess with that because it's hard to illustrate that basically. Like in a video game, it takes a lot more effort to make the map destructible. And it's always Battlefield has always been like the forerunner of the destructible environment,
Absolutely.
and I love that.
I
I
mean,
love it.
you have that one level, I believe, in Battlefield 4. It's a multiplayer map, and there's a skyscraper. It's a skyscraper right in the middle, and there's like a river of some sort right in the front of it, and you shoot the pillars,
Mhm.
and for some odd reason, everyone knows someone's gonna try to drop the skyscraper, but there's always people inside the building, inside and
Right.
on top, and every single time they drop that fucking building, and every
Mhm.
single time anywhere between 5 to 10 people die.
Right. Right.
No,
Exactly.
and then those who are in the bottom, who are either in the water
Hmm.
or under that building, you're fucked.
Yeah. There's no way out of that.
And that's what made the game fun. And then on top of that, with the destructive environment, they would play on. You could still use that environment, whether they turn it
Yeah.
into a flag or something. No,
Yep.
Battlefield's great.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Great concepts, very different from Call of Duty, and that's okay.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what. Now that I'm kind of back into, I guess, first person shooter mode, I'm probably gonna get it. I'm probably gonna get it, and I'm gonna
Me
have to try it
too.
out and see, and hopefully we'll see cross platform, and all that. Did I just cut out there?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah. Hopefully we'll see cross platform again, gameplay, and it'll be good. So
Any company would be stupid, in
yeah,
my
nowadays,
opinion,
yeah,
to not do crossplay.
that really, yeah, crossplay really fucking changed the game. Like, because now it doesn't matter what console you have, you can be playing with your friends. So yeah, you're right. They would be fucking stupid not to.
Pisses these big guys off because now these people don't need to buy both consoles
Correct.
to play with their friends. Now you don't need to spend another $500 and stuff.
That's right. That's
You
exactly.
know, Battlefield. I wouldn't be surprised if crossplay would be in it. I mean, look at Destiny 2. Destiny 2
Yeah.
accidentally opened up their crossplay by
Uh-huh.
accident, and on top of that, when they noticed their mistake, they kept it on for the week
Yeah,
until they fixed it.
and good on them. Good on them. Because it's like you said, these companies are fucking stupid if they don't anymore. I mean, it really doesn't make sense not to. And that's where if there is a greedy asshole company that refuses, they're going to lose business. Gamers are very, very fickle. Gamers as a herd can be very, aggressively dumb, but they can also be aggressively smart and say fuck you, and they've done it before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely, and it's funny too because like I just started playing Modern Warfare on PC, and well, just the Warzone section because that's obviously free for PC, and there's so much difference in it. It's smoother for some odd reason too. When I do like a really intense slide, I slide.
Slide. Okay.
It's like a full on like 2 second slide.
That's what's up.
And
That's
it's,
what's
and
up.
it's interesting, and I find myself having these wild kills. I got some clips too. I got to show you when we're done here. I got a really funny clip of this guy getting rocked by probably a helicarrier, and I shot him, and he goes, "Oh fuck!" So there's some definitely cool differences that the PC version has, but I liked it. But one little thing that I noticed is that I rarely ever meet Xbox players. The only players that I saw were PC and PlayStation players. I did not see one Xbox player in any of the sessions that I played.
Huh. That is interesting. That's very interesting. I didn't even really think about that. I remember last year, quite often. I mean, you'll have all three in the same lobby, but yeah, that is kind of weird. I wonder if Microsoft is pulling back a little bit, or if they're, I don't know. That's weird. I don't even know how to take that one. That's that's odd.
And I'll tell you, I feel pretty good when I play on the PC too, because I'm not coordinated enough to play on the keyboard and mouse yet, all right? So I'm playing with my controller, but I'm catching like 6 to 10 kills a game now with these things. And I remember I was playing with these dudes, and I wish I had recorded this because it was probably one of the coolest things. I think I got like 6 kills straight, saved my team, and the one guy was like, "Man, you're real good on that PC." I'm like, "Yeah, it's my first fucking day." And he goes, and he's like, "Damn, you're good on that keyboard and mouse." And I'm just like, "No, I'm on the controller."
No, I'm on my controller, dude. Sorry.
No, I'm using a controller. And
If you got busy later, we might have to play a couple games.
Oh man, depend of shit. I was actually thinking about playing today too.
I played a little bit yesterday, but I had like a daddy-daughter date with my youngest, and I have another one. I have a daddy-daughter date with my oldest today. But
oh, there you go. Yeah.
Before we went on our date yesterday, I hopped on the Xbox and played. I I didn't play any multiplayer actually. I just went into the custom match and I played against bots
That's
because
fun though.
yeah. I haven't played in the last couple of weeks a lot at all. So I wanted to get back into, aiming, shooting, doing everything quickly, moving, maneuvering, all that other shit. You know what I mean? So getting used to the maps again, basically. So I just basically just practice.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
just train,
And while we're
just
in
train.
and while we're in the topic of Call of Duty, I mean I showed you the codcasting
Yes,
thing.
yes, you
So
did.
so DD214, get some teams ready. We're trying to figure something out here, and we
Yeah,
can't. And, we can't do this unless you guys get the teams.
right.
So I mean, shit. We're gonna figure out something fun because that codcasting thing, the little features that you have, and
Yep.
would love to get like a competition going once we get like a little cute little trophy, a little DD214 trophy.
Absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know,
Love,
and
love.
while we're on the topic of first-person shooters, we watched
Yeah,
the Far Cry 6 gameplay reveal.
yeah. And so, yeah, very. First off, very interesting. It looks brilliant. Looks like a lot of fun. I never got into the Far Cry series. This is going back to like Far Cry 1 and Far Cry 2. I tried, just couldn't get into them. This game has kind of taken that, I guess, that world or that concept and kind of tweaked it enough to where it's a first person shooter now. And I'm very intrigued. Like this, again, especially having kind of come back into the first person shooter world. I might pick up this game and play it because it looks fun enough to do, and there's a lot of interactive. You can build weapons and build a bunch of weird shit, and you can be a stealth ninja, or you can go in there guns blazing, and it looks like the game is set up to kind of do either, or and everything in between. So it looks like a lot of fun. It really really does. Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
my take. I mean, I played very very few Far Cry games. I played. I'm pretty sure I played three. I feel like I played three. I know I definitely played four, and I played a little bit of five. Five lost me because I was already lost in the beginning because there was already so much to do. And I'm like, I
right.
don't even know where to go, and that's not a bad thing, because
Was
for
was was four was four were four and five, were they first person shooters
oh
as
yeah,
well?
I believe they're all first person shooters, but there was a Far Cry offshoot that came out. It was by Far Cry, and it was like a retro, like 1999 version of the game that plays in like a synthwave level. I think it was called like
Really?
Dragon. I'll tell you right now. Hang on. It was so fucking cool, man. Um, Far Cry retro. What is it?
That's freaking hell. That's
What's
hilarious.
what's that called? Shit, what is Blood Dragon? Far Cry 3
Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon. And it was like this ridiculous like vintage version of the game, but it still had like the modern graphics, but you had like
Right.
a VCR filter with it. I remember that one completely. I remember that shit sucked me into Far Cry. And I was like, okay, this is cool.
Right.
But I guess you could say that I skipped five. Now there was a revealed trailer of this like a year ago, and you see the actor Giancarlo Esposito from The Mandalorian, Breaking Bad.
Hmm.
To me, he's probably one of the greatest TV villain actors of all time,
For sure.
and he's in Far Cry. I'm gonna assume that he's the main antagonist in Far Cry 6, but he wasn't shown in this gameplay trailer, which was kind of
Oh.
surprising. Which was
Well, I like too how they made it rated R. I mean, there's
Oh
like cussing.
yeah.
Like they made it. They definitely didn't. They weren't pulling any punches, basically. Like
Yeah,
so.
there was one thing that really drew my attention though, that when the character's in the forest and he has the bow and arrow, if you look at the character model's hand, you could see the rain dripping and falling out of the character's hand
Right.
while it's raining. You see all the blood drops and stuff. I think that's an amazing attention to detail.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it shows that they're paying attention. They're paying
Yes.
attention. I love that. And you see the leaves moving around and the water falling out of the leaves. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And I think Ubisoft has perfected making games in a South American setting.
Right.
They've been doing this for years. Almost every single Ghost Recon game is in either Central or South America.
Right.
And it's the same thing with
FarCry.
yeah, with Far Cry. We're in Central South America.
Right.
And I mean, what's to say that we may not even get a crossover? Because the whole Ubisoft universe is huge, and they're all connected. They're all
Right.
connected.
Yep.
It seems to me that there's going to be a lot of customization
Yep.
with the vehicles, which the vehicles customization look great. You could put like a snowplow in front of it, some machine guns, and a regular
Right. Just a
Cuban. Yeah,
regular beater, basically. Like.
I think that's really cool. I'm a sucker for customization. If you could
Absolutely.
customize it, I'm coming in.
Yep.
To
Yep.
be able to have. I mean, the one car it looked like a race car with two machine guns on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
Exactly.
crazy. And
Yeah.
then we get into the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
There was the machine gun powered by a motorcycle engine.
Motorcycles. Yep. Yep.
The the
Which is like brilliant, just a brilliant concept in general, right?
Yep, the
Like,
the weapon that shoots batteries.
yep. But
What?
there's a weapon that shoots CDs from a CD player.
Yeah,
It was like playing Macarena. It was like
yeah.
playing Macarena.
It was
Like,
playing the Macarena, and and look, let's be realistic here. If you got shot in the neck with a fucking CD, your shit is
yeah,
coming off.
yeah, probably.
Your
Yeah,
shit's
or
coming off.
yeah, your brainstem is definitely getting severed, dude. Like, you know, anything, any physical object fired at with enough velocity is gonna fuck shit up. You know what I mean? Like this is like you see after like a tornado in the Midwest and the South after like a tornado you see shit like playing cards like stuck into a tree or stuck into
Yep.
like a plank. Like anything with anything with mass with enough velocity is going to fuck your shit up. Like it does not matter. You know what I mean?
And to me, that's like I can't tell what was the highlight of that whole trailer. The CD gun or the little disabled puppy with the wheelchair.
Right? Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, and the alligator. You have a pet alligator.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
So what is going on here?
Yeah. It very intriguing. The storyline. It's apparently you're trying to begin or continue a revolution. Like who the fuck knows, dude? Like it's all over the place. But it looks fun though. It looks very interesting. It looks fun, and that's again. I think we're entering an era of gaming where I think a lot of these companies are realizing you can't put out a shit product anymore. Like you
Yeah,
have to fucking
you got to get creative.
yeah, you got to get creative. You got to finish the game. You got to fine tune it. If you're gonna put out updates, because people are just gonna lose interest so quick anymore. Like people are just like, well, fuck you, I'm not playing anymore. And then you see like 40 copies of that piece of shit at GameStop for like $10, like
Yep.
3 months after it comes out. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, don't waste your time on that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and
easy.
it happens all the time. It
Oh hell
happens
yeah, it does.
all the time. And it happened a lot with a lot of Ubisoft games.
Yes, it did.
You
Yes,
know?
it did. It looks like they've learned their lesson a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Breakpoint. Breakpoint came out, and when it first came out, it sold really good, and then the sales they just slowed
Flatline.
down. Yeah,
Yep. Just yep.
so then they started doing the friend pass, which brought you in, got a couple people in, and then if you look at the Ubisoft store on either the Xbox Marketplace, PlayStation, PC, whatever, there is always something on sale. And we're talking about sometimes if I remember just a couple weeks ago I went to go see Breakpoint. Breakpoint was $7 in the marketplace, whereas if you go to GameStop, you still got to pay $60 for it.
Yeah, that's right.
You
That's
know,
exactly.
and then you have cult games like Rockstar's Bully, which came out before
Oh,
you know
16 years ago
yeah,
minimum.
and it
Like it was like I think I remember playing it in oh Christ 07, 08
yeah, and
ish. I was
now
like yeah, about a decade and a half ago
yeah,
almost.
we're getting into almost 20 years that this game has been out, and it's still they just dropped it from 35 to 18. it's still
Right.
$18.
Yeah.
You
Still
know,
selling. It's still selling. Period.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and it doesn't even
That's
have an online mode.
right.
There's absolutely no online mode in Bully. So the game is still selling like crazy. How? Who doesn't own this game? I don't fucking know.
Absolutely. That's hilarious.
But they're making the money off of it, and I really hope that this doesn't happen to Far Cry 6. You have a great actor in it. You have great concept of weapon customization, vehicle customization. The story itself looks great, and I mean, come on, the fucking puppy.
Yeah, that dude, that was funny. Like that, I'm kind of looking forward to this. I will probably I'll probably read some early reviews and
Yeah, I hope they do
you know,
I hope they do like a beta or something.
yeah, I don't and yeah, and I don't even know if, in today's kind of modern era of gaming, I don't even know if betas are the best idea anymore. It's like because sometimes the beta
The
is
betas
what kills
crash.
is
Yeah,
it yeah, and that's what kills the gamer's view of the game. So they might the beta might suck. They release the
it's
finished
true.
product. The finished product's badass, but the gamers are already turned off. Like fuck that game because the beta sucked.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I mean?
mean, perfect example, Fallout 76.
Yep,
The
right there.
beta, the beta, the beta was so good. The
Right.
beta ran so good that when the
Yep.
game came out, they were like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly. It's 2021, man. The future's here, and you roll it. As a company, you roll the dice every time you make a big decision like that with the gaming community because gamers are very fickle. Like I said earlier, they can be aggressively dumb as a group, i.e., people that still play fucking Grand Theft Auto 5 and spend money on it, or they can be aggressively smart and completely tank a fucking game because it fucking sucks and the company didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of examples of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now,
So that's like, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Now, if you want to put a dent, not buying it is not going to do anything. Not playing it will.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like by having it by virtue of having a game and choosing to let it collect dust on the metaphorical shelf, so to speak, you're really fucking them
Yeah.
over. Like
Look
really,
at
really
the
bad.
GTA 4 online servers. They didn't shut down until just a couple years ago.
That's right.
Why?
That's
Because people were playing them.
still fucking playing it. That's right.
You
That's
know,
exactly right. That is exactly
there are
right.
still Call of Duty servers going for World at War, the
Yep.
original Call of Duty World War II, because people are still playing it. If no one was playing it, there would be no servers for it.
That is correct. That is correct. So yeah,
It
go gamer power. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
By the power of Game Skull.
yeah, right? I have the power.
Yeah, so it's very crazy. I have high hopes for Far Cry. I'm very excited for it. I will be buying it. I would like to know if they have co-op in it because I think co-op is starting to become a thing now, and I think after the whole pandemic, you know, couch co-ops now can be a thing. So
Absolutely.
let's see.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that we get more stuff for E3.
I really do too. I don't know why. Well, okay, I kind of do, but I have to assume, I should say, I have to assume that the extreme lack of gaming news as of like the last 4 to 6 months has been in due part because we have two brand new consoles. We have the Xbox Series X and we have the PlayStation 5. By virtue of the new consoles and a lack of games coming out for them or games that are coming up, there's been this giant lull. So if you tune into our podcast, week by week or whatever, the last several weeks we haven't had really a lot to talk about as far as gaming. E3 is coming up. We've already talked about Sony not being a part of that. We've kind of beat that horse, deader than dead. But E3 is coming up, and there is still nothing coming out. We still do not have a fucking clue anything that not even what to expect.
Yep.
And that's not even counting the fact that Sony's not going to be there because we haven't heard shit from fucking Sony either. So the lack of gaming news lately has been
It hurts.
it's kind of disconcerting in a way, but at the same time, my hope is that E3 blows our socks off and that Sony comes out with like the next new big thing, hopefully. Still not sold on getting a new console
Yeah.
yet, but I'm hoping, maybe in the next couple of months. I got a paycheck from the army coming until October, so I've only got X amount of time. I got to save my money pretty much because I'm getting out of the army. So it's like I've only got X amount of time to spend really any of my money at all before I got to go turn myself into a tightwad and get ready to become a civilian J again, right? So yeah.
Man, what a time.
What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, seriously. And you know, we've made it to another year,
Mm-hmm.
Memorial Weekend.
Yep.
You know,
Memorial this year.
growing up, and I'm pretty sure this is for a lot of people. A lot of people growing up, we're thinking hot dogs,
Yep.
beer, food,
Mm-hmm.
music, party.
Yep.
I growing up, I didn't understand. I didn't understand.
Same. Yeah.
I did have a bunch of members of military service members in my family, but they were, I never got to see them that much because they were always gone.
Yeah. Same.
So
Same with me. Growing up in Arizona, there were a couple of years where we would take a lot of our vacations back to Kansas City, to visit family. Summer vacation was time to visit the family, and I also had several veteran service members in my family, and veterans of foreign wars, but it wasn't talked about. This is going back to like the 80s and 90s. It just a lot of the stuff just did not get talked about, and you either had to ask somebody or you had to know somebody well enough to even ask them in the first place, and that was if you even cared enough to ask. Whereas I'm glad that the stigma has been it's slowly lifting. It's
yeah,
not really lifted completely off, obviously, but the stigma is being lifted to talk about stuff and to be open about some of our experiences as veterans. And if you've been to war, that stigma is slowly, the veil is slowly being lifted to where it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to ask about it. You're not gonna offend me by asking me about my experiences in Afghanistan or even my experiences after I've returned home. You know what I mean? It's not offensive to talk about it, or it's not a taboo. It's not a taboo anymore to talk. You know what I mean? So I'm very glad for that. But you're absolutely right. Like Memorial Day was the unofficial start of summer. A lot of traveling, picnics in the park,
the beach.
yeah, swimming pools in Arizona, swimming pools, barbecue pool parties, shit like that, where patriotic, yes. Um, why are we having this holiday? No, it didn't. I just knew that it was called Memorial Day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was it. Like I just knew that it was called
Yep.
Memorial
You
Day.
would have off for school,
Right.
and your parents would be like, "Hey, we're going down for us, it would be, oh, we're going down the shore,"
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't know at the time, but all our parents were, getting fucking crunk,
Yeah.
around us. We don't know what, we just want to go to the pool, but
Right.
they're fucking taking up all the space in the pool, getting drunk in the pool, and we can't play in the pool.
That's right. That's right.
Nope.
It's like one of the only times you ever got to see your parents a little twisted, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. It,
yeah.
and it's so cool because right before coming into the military, I got to learn a little bit more about the meaning of it, and then when I was in, we got to learn much more. Having like the DFAC, especially working in the DFAC, doing all like the special events for Memorial Day and things like that.
Sure.
It's very important. I think the oldest veteran I've been around, I want to say I've been around the World War II veteran, but I can't remember. But many years ago, I want to say around 2008, 2009, I met a Vietnam veteran. He was missing a leg, and he was a homeless veteran,
Okay.
and he was he had no issue talking about his stories. Because he always said, people should always know. People should
Absolutely.
always know.
Agreed.
These are
Hmm.
and on top of that, these are things that people want to know. You know, why do we read these books and magazines? Why do we play
Right.
these video games?
Hmm.
Why do we watch these fucking great movies? Because we want to know these stories. And even though a lot of them are fictionalized, there's still a lot of great.
Yeah,
mo-
there's elements of truth in a lot of these in a lot of the stories. You know what I mean? And then and a lot of times by when you're as a veteran when you talk about your experiences, it's very cathartic. It's just like we've talked on this podcast about how this is it's almost like a healing process for you and me to come on here week after week. And yeah, we talk about gaming, we talk about UFC and baseball and all these smorgasbord of other stuff, but we always come right back to the military and our experiences. Both of us are obviously Army veterans, like but the military service, and a lot of stuff comes with that. There's a lot of for better or worse, there's a lot of baggage that comes with being a veteran.
yeah,
Like it's a different life and it's a different lifestyle, and it comes with a lot. So but yeah, yeah,
yeah, and we always, we a lot of people, we correlate a lot of the ones that we remember from what I've in my experience hear people talk about was from like World War I and on. But we also
yeah.
have to remember that we would have never had a World War I or two if it wasn't for the Spanish American War, the Revolutionary War,
Correct.
the
The
Civil War.
Civil.
These
Yep.
are all things that shaped where we
Yeah.
are today and why we have a day like this to remember all those people who shaped the country to what it is today, for good or bad.
Right.
You
That's
know,
right.
you know,
But it is history, and by virtue of being a service member, you are part of that history. So
absolutely. And even in like certain moments, like I won't reference the TV show because it's really not important. But there are things that in history happen. Decisions that people make, good or
mhm.
bad, that end up being remembered the most.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know,
And it's and that and being a part of that, um, being a part of that history, like you're saying, for good or bad. I think as you get older, it starts meaning a lot more to you. You
absolutely.
know what I mean? Like, you get to say like I was there. Like I wasn't. I didn't just read about it in a paper. I didn't X or Y or Z. By to hear about it or talk about it. I was actually there. I have a firsthand account of what I experienced being there. You know what I mean? And it can be a very beautiful thing. It can be a very, very beautiful thing. And I'm kind of looking forward to, like, when I get out, maybe going to college, and being that fucking crusty ass fucking old veteran.
Yeah.
And maybe something comes up in the class and I'll be like, yeah, but I was there.
Yep. Yep.
Like, what do you want to know? Because I was there, right?
Like I seen it. I
I,
seen
I
it.
seen it. I seen
You know,
it.
and then unfortunately, we have the dark side of it. Where there are some people who have lived these experiences and they still live these experiences every single day that they don't want to remember it. You know,
Right.
but they
Yeah.
remember it because, like you said, they were there, you were there.
Yep.
They were there, and they they have to remember it.
Yeah. I actually, it's funny you mentioned that. When I was in that briefing I discussed earlier last week as part of my out processing the Army, one of the young men, when I changed my job in the Army from mechanic to go over to the infantry, one of the young men that was in basic training when I went back to basic training, right? Um, he's out. He has since gotten out of the Army. He did a few years, got out. He's a law enforcement official
Oy
now
vey.
somewhere. And well, he posted. The Army Times does this thing every year where it's where they remember the fallen, basically. And he posted a picture of the young man that lost his life on my last deployment, and I was there. I wear that young man's name on my wrist
Yeah.
every single day of my life. I see his name every single day of my life, and to see a young man from that was in basic training when I was reclassing post that. I don't want to say it was random, but the Army Times has this for like almost every single the thousands that we have lost. Um, to see him post that one individual, I commented on it, and I took a picture of my bracelet and I commented. I was like, we were there. Like that young man earned my I earned my combat infantryman infantryman's badge, like he paid for it with his life, and that's why I wear, I have my CIB is stitched onto my uniform, and I wear it every day because that was his sacrifice. He lost his life, in 2018, and that's how I earned my CIB. And it's not always comfortable to talk about it. It
Yeah.
is very much the dark side that does not get discussed or brought up very often because it's easy to share drinks with friends. It's easy to laugh, and you tend to notice, especially if you're somewhat of a barfly, like I've been in the past. As the night winds on and the drinks are flowing a little bit smoother, you start out really happy, and then over the course of the night, it starts kind of devolving into this mess inside your head where you start thinking about stuff and you're like, fuck, man, like this shit sucks. Like I don't want to freaking think about that right now. I don't want to go into my feels.
Yeah.
Like kid was freaking 24 years old. He literally married the year before, didn't have any kids of his own, and I'm 40 fucking years old. Like why did I get to live? You know what I mean? Like I'd give that fucking CIB back right now
Yeah.
if it could mean that he stayed alive.
And that's a
You know what
reminder
I mean?
to you too.
Yeah, it's a
A
reminder
reminder every single day.
every single day, every single day. Even outside of the military, I lost my best friend I was 22 years old. He was 22. My best friend passed away at 22 years of age. It's been 18 fucking years. I still think about that motherfucker every fucking day. 18 goddamn years later, there's not been a single day that I haven't thought about my best friend and how my life changed. That was it was a watershed moment in my life when I lost my best friend. Nothing in my life from that day to present day has ever been the same. I don't know where I would be or who I would be if that dude had fucking lived. And for a lot of veterans, it's exactly the same when they come back from war. Like war was a
Absolutely.
watershed moment for them. When you have some of these moments of shattering loss, it does change you. It does change you, and life kind of turns into a very dull shade of gray when you come back from war. Everything is mundane, humdrum, boring. You're getting fucking yelled at by some stupid ass fucking boss on the civilian side. Like, who the fuck are you to yell at me,
Or a
motherfucker?
Karen.
What's that?
Or a Karen.
Or a fuck? Oh God, I've had to bite my tongue several times. Like
Yeah.
because it's like when you're in the military, it's like the way we get yelled at in the military, like they crush your fucking soul. Like they take your soul out, stomp on it, and then shove it back up your fucking ass.
They prepare
And
you for life.
oh yeah, it's like, and I can't wait till the day some civilian shithead tries to fucking yell at me. I'm gonna be like, who the fuck are you talking to, bro? Like you don't fucking scare me, guy. I'll just fucking walk off the goddamn job. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like go pick up a fucking weapon, dude, and I'll fucking meet you 500 meters away. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
let's figure this out.
Let's
Like
let's parlay.
yeah, parlay, parlay.
Let's parlay. Yeah. I used to go. I think I may have spoken about this a few times. In Georgia, there is a old Confederate. It's a Civil War Confederate detention camp. It's called Andersonville.
Oh God,
Yes.
that's an infamous fucking camp right
Yeah.
there.
So what's interesting? Me and my wife found solace going to that place a lot. We've had picnics there. We've gone there a lot, and in that location, some of the walls are actually still up. If you go there,
Right.
the original some of the original walls are still up. Some of the original tents are still there.
Hmm.
I'm shaking right now just thinking about it. In that location is also the POW museum.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like the national one, or for like the Civil War, or what?
you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know.
I'll keep talking. Keep talking. I'll
Yeah,
do some Google.
it's in Anderson, baby. Is that Alabama or Georgia? Andersonville, Georgia, POW museum. So there, you get, my drill sergeant was actually a POW, and
That is the National Prisoner of War Museum.
okay,
That is the National Prisoner of War Museum.
okay,
Oh yeah.
fantastic. So
Yep.
my wife and I, we've been there probably every, whenever You know, I know we went there when my second son was first born, and then when my daughter was first born. And funny story, actually, my oldest son fell into the little fountain in there once.
Really?
He was trying. He was maybe like a year or two old, and he was trying to pick something up in the fountain. I think there was pennies in there, and he went to pick up the penny, and he he fell inside the fountain. Funny, but yeah, the museum. So before I get into the museum, the area itself, it's like a huge national park, and you know you have to drive into this. There's a national cemetery there too, by the way. Military, yeah.
You can just drive through it and
you could walk in it. You know, you could admire it and stuff like that. And
awesome.
you know, this first off, when you go there, you go through the museum first. It's a very very gripping experience.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because it's not just walking into a museum and seeing photos and stuff, because they have actual items that were in this prison camp. Bamboo cages, locks. There's actually a little section that you can actually go inside the bamboo cage and put on the cuffs that they would lock the prisoners in. Very interesting stuff. It's a very interesting museum. And then when you go outside, you see the whole facility, the whole Anderson camp. And you drive around it, and you just get this sense of like, fuck, I feel so disrespectful just walking around here, you know? And, you know, you get a...
It's hallowed ground, even for all the atrocities that were committed in places like that. It is kind of hallowed ground because so many people lost their lives there. That was where they took their final breath.
Yeah.
You know, and it's become hallowed ground basically.
Yeah, and many attempts to escape and bring it down too.
Oh yeah,
many
absolutely.
attempts. And I think one of the most eerie things that were there was the entrance door of the actual camp. And they're huge, and you see the original wood scrapings, and it's so eerie, but you get a sense of remembrance, you know, because thinking about places like that, you know, is very important for days like today, you know, because those were Union soldiers being caught by Confederate soldiers trying to take away our freedom to build, to build their history, to build, you know, to spread their rhetoric. And it didn't happen. You know, I'm sorry to say, the Confederacy, you guys fucking lost.
I'm not. Fuck the Confederacy, and fuck that loser, fucking traitor ass fucking flag too.
Yeah.
So, and if you rock the Confederate flag, fuck you too.
Yeah. That fucking flag is so ugly.
Flag. Fuck that fucking flag. Fuck that. Fuck the rhetoric. Fuck the fact. Fuck the fact that in the 1980s there were still fucking elementary schools in the South that still called the fucking Civil War the War of Northern Aggression. No, motherfucker, it was a civil war because you cocksuckers didn't want to give up fucking slavery. Fuck you.
Yeah. And we remember those. We remember them.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we remember those people who fought for their lives, especially all the slaves who escaped and fought against the Confederacy to take back our land, and we remember them.
We absolutely do. You know, and it's a lot. You know, we touched on it earlier. You know, and Memorial Day is not necessarily just about people that fell on the battlefield. There are a lot of veterans that come home with the wounds of war.
Yep.
You know, but be they mental, be they physical, be they emotional, and a lot of times people will eventually succumb to those wounds of war, and it's unfortunate. And I hate even saying it out loud, but I have lost more people after they've come home than I've lost on the battlefield. I've only experienced loss on the battlefield, personal loss on the battlefield twice. In 3 deployments. I have been very, very fortunate in my military career that I only had to go through it twice. Because I know many of my friends and acquaintances in the Army have lost dozens, literal dozens. But with coming home and I guess succumbing to those wounds, I've lost many more than that. And I wear their names on my fucking risked every day too, because it was no different. You know,
Absolutely.
we went to war, we served together, and something happened after they came home, and life was not the same anymore, and they decided to enter the next realm of existence. You know, it sucks, and it's again it's shattering loss, and a lot of people in life, you can go through a very healthy chunk of your life without ever experiencing that kind of shattering loss. To be a young man or a young woman and to experience it over and fucking over again, you know, to get a phone call at like 9 o'clock in the morning that somebody you served with, someone you loved, maybe somebody that served under you, like you were the sergeant and they were your soldier, you know, to hear that they will never again, you know, make a Facebook post. You never get a chance to shake their hand, to give them a hug. You know, their children will never have a Christmas with them again. Shit like that it's very unsettling. It's very unsettling. It shows you how fragile our lives really are, and short, and very short. And I'm thankful in my life that, you know, I've experienced loss and grief before, but joining the army at 29 years old, I already had kind of a grip on the loss part. Like I said, I lost my best friend at 22, but it never gets any easier. Like it never gets any easier when you get that phone call that somebody is gone. Um, you know, it's hard. It's very hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, I lost a good army buddy last year, and incidentally enough, that's how I met my lady, was at his memorial service. You know, and me and her have kind of grieved together. And I'm, you know, she made a post about him last night, and it's beautiful,
Yeah.
but it's also very heartbreaking, because again, you would rather have them here. You'd rather
Of
have them
course.
here than have to deal with what comes with them not being here. You know, and there's associated guilt and all this other stuff that comes with it. It comes just pouring out of nowhere sometimes. You know, like I said, I tend to drown my sorrows with fucking beer sometimes, and I know it's that's not always healthy, but that's how I cope now. You know, is by, you know, being by myself. Sometimes I don't mind drinking alone, right? Like a lot of people, that's like a stigma for people. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not a fucking stigma for me. Like there's definitely nights where I want to go out and I want to socialize, sing karaoke, and carry on and have a great time. There's other nights where I want to fucking just go and be left the fuck alone. And there's something about the noise and the light and the din, you know, of a busy bar that is comforting to me,
The
because I can
ambiance.
yeah, because I can just fucking disappear and just be left the fuck alone, and be alone with my thoughts, have a couple of drinks, you know, drink my water, you know, and go home. You know, and some nights that's what I need. You know, some nights that's what I need. It doesn't happen every night, and it doesn't happen even necessarily very often. But there are nights where that's what I fucking need. I just need to be left the fuck alone, and let myself, let my inner emotions kind of come out, and then I can move on the next day and be fine. You know, and that's, I think that in a way is kind of healthier than trying to hold it in or trying to bottle it up or trying to not talk about it. I would rather talk about it. I talk to my fucking therapist about this shit all the time, you know, because it's not, keeping it all bottled up is definitely not healthy at all. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Sorry.
then like you said, like you said earlier, sometimes, we lose people outside, outside of war, sometimes even outside of the military. And
Yeah,
you never, those people are never forgotten either.
that's correct.
I've spoken about this before. I've never seen combat, but I did lose two friends while I was in. One in a motorcycle accident, very unfortunate, but you always be remembered. And I had another one that you know coming home from war, and it took over.
Mm-hmm.
And it everyone has a different story. Everyone has a different experience. There's always a reason why someone won't make that phone call, or they won't they won't reach out. It's not easy sometimes, man. And you know even though we find the solace and comfort into those we love, sometimes we find it hard to be open about our emotions because we don't want to break down, and we don't want to relive it. We just don't
Yeah.
want to relive it.
Sorry, I just got a phone call from my girlfriend, so
Uh,
I got a little. I bought her flowers today. I know she's having a hard time this
yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
Sorry, I got a little weepy there for a second.
No, it's okay. It's
Off the
okay.
phone with her quick. I was like, let me call you back because I'm gonna fucking start crying.
Yeah, this is the time. This is,
It is.
and I guess this counts as like a super long major final moment because we promote this all the
Yeah,
time.
we do.
You know,
We
we,
do.
we, we
And,
promote this all the time. We remember those who fought for us, those who fought next to us, those who ate with us, even
yeah.
those who didn't eat with us.
Yep.
We remember you.
Honor, we honor the people that are still in the fight right now that are going to be lost in the future. You know what I mean? And that's really what really crushes my soul is knowing that there's not really ever going to be a last one until humanity ceases to exist. There's never going to be a last one.
Yeah.
There are still people that we love that are going to be fallen in the future. And to slightly segue, since we're on the theme of remembrance, um, before next week's episode occurs, let me double check the dates on this. But in China, the Tiananmen Square massacre occurred on June 4th. Well, June 4th to June 5th of 1989, and it happened. And because of the prevalence of the internet and the prevalence of, I guess, Chinese internet people, a lot of the historical information is getting skewed nowadays. And I want to put it out there that the Tiananmen Square massacre occurred, and we remember those fighters for democracy as well here on our weekend for Memorial Day weekend, because they were fighting for democracy in China in 1989, and they were savagely crushed and oppressed. And China is doing everything they can to remove and erase the memory of the events of June 4th and June 5th, 1989, from the history books. We'll not let that happen. There's a very stunning image of the man standing in front of a column of Chinese tanks that were leaving Tiananmen Square on June 5th. That man is actually one of my personal heroes. They call him Tank Man or the Unknown Rebel. And Tank Man, aka the Unknown Rebel, is one of my personal heroes. I remember seeing those images I was 8 years old when that occurred.
I was a kid too.
I still remember seeing those images. They're burned in my brain.
You don't even need to look it up. Like
they don't even know who he is. And I hope and pray to whatever god or gods are out there that he's still alive, because he is a hero to millions around the world for standing up to oppression. And as is tradition on this podcast, I gotta send a big fucking fuck you to China and a big fuck you to Russia. Not the people, the government. Okay. And again, if you support those governments, fuck you too. Okay, because we're all about freedom here, and we're all about fighting for what is right and what is just in this world. We want to see a better world. I pray for a world that our jobs don't have to exist anymore. That'd be a beautiful, amazing world where
a utopia.
You don't have, where you don't have to pick up a fucking weapon as a profession. You know what I mean? Maybe you can just do it for sport, right?
Where we're sharing resources instead of bombing each other for them.
That's correct. That would be a wonderful world to fucking live in, would it not? Would it not? So yeah, I just had to bring that up because I think it's next week. But let me look at my fucking calendar here. Give me a second. I apologize.
And that just goes to show.
It's next Friday and Saturday. So basically, before our next podcast, the anniversary of those dates is coming. So
and that just goes to show, and I'm not just talking about with recent protests, but I'm talking about throughout protest, throughout the century. There were a lot of lives that were lost that were fighting for the right thing. Fighting
absolutely.
for the right thing, and we remember them too. This is
absolutely.
So enjoy your Coors Light, enjoy your Nathans,
enjoy the barbecues, enjoy the pool, the beach, the picnic, the camping.
Yep, but raise one up or pour one down. You know,
absolutely. And if you have room, save an empty seat. Leave one seat empty. and remember us. Remember our fallen, because we want you guys to have a good time. That's exactly why we signed up. It's exactly what we fought for. We don't want everybody to be upset and crying in their beers like some of us will be this weekend. We want you guys. That's exactly why we fucking signed up, so that you didn't have to. So you didn't have to go through all that bullshit and come home with a head full of fucking broken glass. Let us fucking carry that weight. But maybe this week can help us take a little bit of weight out of our rucksacks by having a good time, and help us carry it for a couple of days. I want you to have a good time. Please have a good time.
Absolutely. And about having a good time, uh, be aware of your local towns, your VFWs, your American Legions holding events or even parades in your area. I believe, the town that I live in they're very military friendly, so I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I mean, we have a lot of uplifts. The mandates are being lifted up here, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of like a parade or event around me. But keep an eye for it, guys. There's gonna be something. There's gonna be something for the kids. This is like Jay said earlier. This is the start. The start of summer before summer.
Yep.
So
That's right.
no,
That's right.
this is the time. We remember them. Remember everybody. Remember why you're able to eat that disgusting shriveled skin hot dog of yours, and that watery expensive beer.
Watery fucking shitty ass Miller High Life.
Yeah, there you go. And hey, this is the time. Everybody have a safe and wonderful Memorial Day weekend. It was
Absolutely.
it was a pleasure to talk about it. We'll be here next week. We might have a guest. We may not. Who knows? It's up in the air.
Hey.
Just wait for the surprise.
The army goes rolling along on this podcast.
Oh yeah, it
damn.
does. And, if you want to know about anything, you're just gonna have to hurry up and wait.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. We don't know you shit. We're just giving it to you out of the goodness of our fucking hearts.
Yeah, listen.
Fucking enjoy it.
Don't kill the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. And just one. And I just have one last message to the gaming news thing and the gaming industries. How the fuck are we supposed to do our job if you have nothing for us to talk about?
Seriously, you fucking assholes. Like, get your shit together. Get your shit together, Sony. Get your shit
Give me
together,
something.
E3.
Give me something good. And for everybody, enjoy yourselves. Love each other. Hug each other. I don't know, wherever you are around the world, your mask mandates and your restrictions are probably lifting. This is the time. Be careful. Have a good time. America is back, baby. America
That's right.
is back.
Coming back stronger than ever.
Yes, it is. So
So
let's
the
get
fuck
it done.
away.
Let's get
Hell
it
yeah.
done. See you next week, everybody.